Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another week of Pro Wrestling Tonight right here on IndieQuebec.com. It's the Prez once again here with my co-host, the magnificent Drey Breeze. How you doing, Drey?
I'm doing great, guy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's WrestleMania week. It really feels like it's really like WrestleMania week now. I feel like, back in the day it was WrestleMania the day up
Yeah,
until say not that long ago. Then I feel like it was WrestleMania weekend. And maybe
yeah,
like the last 3, 4 years, it's really turned into WrestleMania week.
yeah. It has, and like all the companies now, kind of like build. Then it's kind of like a WrestleCon, basically. It's kind of like a wrestling convention now, basically, is what I see it as. The whole week of WrestleMania, different companies are doing shows and
In the
signings
same
and
city,
all
yeah.
kinds of stuff, all in the same city. So it's basically become, like I said, a wrestling conference. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of shows going on like in Dallas this weekend as well. Like as we're recording this, Joey Janela's spring break is just starting tonight.
yeah.
And
That's the one
then
where he's facing X-Pac tonight, right? That's
yeah,
what it is.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big show. Definitely I'm going to watch the replay of that at some point.
Yeah.
I think like every WrestleMania weekend, there's always too much to watch, and I always end up missing something. Usually, it would be the Ring of Honor show the last couple years because Ring of Honor really dropped off the last couple years, and I don't think I'm the only one who like thinks that. But Ring of
No.
Honor started these WrestleMania weekend shows basically. Like
Yeah.
they've been doing this for like over 10 years. And this year's Super Card of Honor, definitely I'm going to catch that. That's at Friday, tomorrow night at 8. We'll
Yep.
go
For
more
all you.
into that. We'll go more into that later on. Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, so like Dynamite, there was Dynamite yesterday. Tonight, Impact. I was watching that earlier before we started recording. And then yeah, right into Friday with SmackDown as well, which is like WrestleMania SmackDown. That's where the Andre
Yeah.
the Giant Battle Royal is happening.
Yeah. And there's Rampage.
And then Rampage after. And then GCW has some other events going on. There's like Josh Barnett's Blood Sport. I think that might
Yeah.
be tonight after spring break.
Yeah. Josh Barnett's Bloodsport is really good too. Like I've been watching a lot of clips from it and stuff. I haven't been able to catch a complete show yet myself
Same
from
here.
beginning
Same.
to end. But there's a few wrestlers that I follow on Instagram and stuff and on Twitter, and they post a lot of stuff that they appear in Bloodsport. And man, it's worth checking out. I like the whole no ropes concept and everything that they've got going there, and it seems pretty damn intense. Like if you
Yeah.
ask me, it's basically MMA mixed in with wrestling, isn't it? That's what it is,
Basically,
basically.
I mean, you eliminate the factor of ropes, and that really limits you to pretty much striking, grappling.
Yeah, just it. It just becomes wrestling, but striking and grappling. So there
Yeah.
seems to be a lot of blood too. So I'm guessing there's some bare knuckle fighting type stuff going on there also at it. Because man, that Moxley and Simon Grimm match, and who else was there recently that I saw that was there? Zeta Zhang in the girls division.
I'd like to
Uh,
see Davy Boy Smith Jr. get into there. I'm sure he probably even has appeared there, but
yeah, Johnny Impact, John Hennigan was there recently. Yeah,
yeah,
him too.
he's going to be there on this upcoming event. I think he might be in the main event. They're really
Yeah,
hyping him being there. That's cool.
yeah.
Like, at least he's doing something. This guy, I don't know why WWE would let him go, you know?
No, me neither. He's full talented, totally athletic, good on the microphone, likable guy. The fans like him when he's a good guy, and they dislike him when he's a bad guy. But of course, they know it's just his role on TV. They love him when he's at the airport and everything. John is really chill with people. I like his way of staying the same character, but basically innovating his name everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
He's, Johnny Mundo in Mexico. He's Johnny Impact and Impact. He's John Hennigan. He's Johnny Bloodsport now. That's what he was calling
Yeah.
himself in Bloodsport. Johnny Bloodsport. which I like it. I like his whole play on everything. Yeah, very talented dude. He could pretty much go wherever he wants right now. I think he's taking his time because he could be in AEW. He could be back in Impact. He left on good terms last time when he was there. He could be anywhere. Like,
Yeah, the guy's got money.
Yeah,
So,
he does, which is why he takes his time, basically, at picking where he wants to go, I guess.
yeah. But I was thinking, even like 10 years ago when he was still back in WWE, when he was getting like a slight push on SmackDown, I thought they could have like went all the way with this guy even then.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, even when he was with Eminem, I mean, they were good. They were a good tag team. The whole concept with Melina, like they were good. You know what I mean?
The tag team division was like such an afterthought at the time, and they really shined despite that,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
hopefully
we'll see more Johnny Impact and Taya Valkyrie too, his wife.
Exactly. Where they're gonna go in the future. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we'll go over Dynamite, but we'll more try to focus on the preview, like the upcoming awesomeness that this weekend will be.
Wrestle geek out, man. Yeah.
No, definitely. I mean, as much as I like kind of think it would be a crazy idea to like spend money to go all the way there, one day I definitely will go to like a WrestleMania. Like,
yeah, it's something that I would like to do too. I would consider that a cool vacation.
Yeah,
you know
definitely.
what I'm saying? Thing to do. Go down for WrestleMania weekend. Not even have to go to WrestleMania. Screw that. Tickets are way too expensive. Just be able to use that money instead of $300 tickets. Take it, turn around, and put it in 3 different events on 3 different nights, and go home with a bunch of autographs and memorabilia and totally fucking happy. You know what I'm
what's pretty
saying?
nuts though is this year. We'll get into this, like we could get this right away. Get into this right away. They're only at about 60,000 sold per night so far for WrestleMania.
Which to them is really bad.
The cheapest tickets you can get in the door now there for like $25.
Wow.
Yeah, like say you live in Texas, it's like there's probably going to be a lot of walk up. I've heard a lot of speculation about that.
Well, it's probably going to
old school wrestling place.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
But right now, it's not going to be technically sold out. And I think if I would go to a WrestleMania weekend, it being 2 nights, I definitely would think hard about probably like not going to at least one, I'd probably go to one and maybe like not go to the other, depending on like if they really hype it up. But
exactly.
Yeah, we'll get in more into the WrestleMania properly when we do
later.
The preview. Right now, we'll get into Dynamite. Yeah, they always start out with like these great matches now. So they had Punk and Max Caster, a great match. MJF and FTR have a promo segment. They're clearly breaking up,
Yeah, it's clearly over.
Yeah. And I think
see FTR totally going a baby face now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Like they have their following, so
yeah, that's it. The fans like them, so whatever.
They're decked out in the NWO gear this week.
Yeah,
which was I mean, it's
pretty.
It's face.
Yeah,
but
it is.
It's kind of like Bullet Club. It's kind of like
Yeah.
And then they challenged the Young Bucks later on in the show. So we'll see that. That's a match that I've been looking forward to. We haven't seen the Young Bucks really in the mix that much. We've seen them on Rampage more.
Yeah, and since they lost the titles, they haven't been on Dynamite that much since they lost the titles. They've been more handling, I guess, office duties of what they have to do and stuff like that.
Making copies and
that's it. Photocopying stuff and sending emails to fan events and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Then we had Lethal against John Moxley, which we've been like saying on this show for weeks. We've been waiting for a good Jay Lethal match, and this delivered. I liked
Oh,
how he kind of like was slightly heel in it.
yeah. And I like the way that him and Moxley shook hands at the end, and it's Moxley that offered him his hand. So I wouldn't be surprised in Regal and this whole recruiting of wrestlers and whatnot that they want to do, that Jay Lethal is a guy that they take because he has the pedigree, the championships. I could see them seeing him as somebody kind of on their level that they can bring on their level. Plus, they've made him lose a few times. So you're putting Jay Lethal like in a bad mood. You know what I mean? Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, what's going on? It's not going well. You know what I mean? I'm losing. I lost to Adam Cole. Now I'm losing to Moxley. And you could see it how Regal could get into his head and say, come along with us. You know what I mean? Join our clique, you know, we'll make you better. I could see Jay Lethal doing that. I think that's what this is, you know. Otherwise, why make Moxley face Lethal? I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Like it was kind of a questionable. I mean, I thought it was obvious that Moxley was gonna win, but it's like, okay, it's cool we're seeing Lethal. He's getting he's having a good
a
match
push.
here, but at the end of the day, um you could protect Lethal more, and they could have had like, I don't know, anyone, Jack Evans like do this and it would have been perfectly fine, you know?
Exactly, exactly. It would have been a good match too. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think there's a thinking behind making Lethal lose to Adam Cole last week and then bringing him again with Moxley and making him lose to Moxley, but then Moxley laying out the hand to shake his hand. Like Moxley never shakes hands recently. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why is he going to shake Jay Lethal's hand? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless there's a goal to that, you know? So in my book, that's what I definitely would see Lethal with them. You know what I mean? More than I would see to Yuda, even though Yuda's a good wrestler. I mean, you know, so
Yuta will definitely be like a follower, kind of like.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, later on in the show, Danielson and Yuda, they have an awesome match. Um, I mean, this was their second match
Yeah.
against each other. The first one was great. This one was good again. They gave him some more time in this one, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're really showcasing Yuta. They seem to have a lot of confidence in him.
Yeah, he is, and like you said, he's probably going to end up being a follower in this clique because he's the kid that doesn't stop. He's the little train that's not stopping. He keeps taking on and poking the bear and poking the bear, and he's taking the beating like a man, even spitting in Danielson's face, which I thought was pretty intense. It was a nice
Yeah,
big loop,
like whoa.
you know, like whoa, that was a spit. You know what I mean? But I thought that was good. You know, they're going with that. They're showing, and you know what I mean? That's what I think he's doing it in the storyline because that's what Regal would want. I think he thinks in his head. You know what I mean? I'm going to take beatings and I'm going to keep coming and they're going to keep giving me beatings until they say, okay, it's cool. You can come in the gang. He's getting his gang initiation beat downs right now. That's what's happening.
I
You
find
know?
it's definitely like an unpredictable storyline. Like
Yeah,
where
they could
it's
do a
going
lot
from
with it.
here. What's their motivation even? Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's very interesting. Um, FTR, they beat the Gun Club, who I will say that the Gun Club are impressing me more and more. Like, at first I thought they were horrible. They're at least like they're good enough heels that like I find them annoying now. Like I legit
Yeah.
find them annoying.
Yeah, exactly. What I think is they got a good pedigree from their father. They know how to wrestle. They know how to talk on the microphone. They're two annoying brats. They're a good heel team that you know are probably never going to break up because no matter how many times they lose, because they're family. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So at the end of the day, what's good about them is they're in a good place to where they can lose all the time. As long as they get TV time, they can be that heel team that just gets their ass kicked every other week, and then they do stuff. They get their ass kicked again. You know what I mean? And you
I
still
see
don't
them
mind it.
like right now, like almost like too much. Remember too
Like who?
much
Yeah,
before they
exactly.
became too cool, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. That's it. They're clowns, you know. They can be heels. They can be likable, nice guys. They could get their ass kicked every week, but they're still always going to be the Gun Club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. So yeah, they're coming along.
yeah.
There's a
But I like FTR. FTR in this, man, what a
yeah, they look
team.
great. I mean, like I was like focusing on Gun Club there, but like definitely FTR like really
Like
carried
when you
this one
see,
for sure.
you know, you see FTR watching. Sometimes you see them on Twitter, and they're talking about other teams in the world and other companies, and we're the best, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. I mean, arguably, you could argue there's the Briscoes, the Good Brothers, you know, God, the Usos, whatever. But FTR, man, they really are that old school tag team.
Yeah.
They're an old school tag team. They're a real tag team, and they're like the Steiners, you know what I mean? To me, when I see them, I see the Steiners, I see the Dudleys, I see two dudes that are gonna be like getting Hall of Fame plaques as a team, not
Yeah.
as two individuals going into the Hall of Fame. They're gonna be that team that people are gonna be like, yeah, you know, they're gonna be in the conversation, you know? Who are the best? The Dudleys, the Warriors, you know what I'm saying? Or FTR, because they probably will win 20 something fucking titles from different companies all over the world. I mean, you know,
They're
I
still
see
carrying
them do
around
it,
those AAA titles.
which is good for AAA. Good,
Sure.
man. I mean, it's good. You know, I find it cool that the companies, because when they used to work together, used to be like, are they still working together? I don't know. You know what I mean? But the
Yeah.
fact that all these people are carrying the titles every week to the ring is to me is showing respect to the
Like
business
yeah,
and to
and
the
it's like a
business agreement.
continuity.
You know?
Like
Exactly. Exactly.
I wouldn't even mind seeing more AAA guys, but I guess there's not that much room on the roster.
And plus, getting them over the border is a pain in the ass right now with the COVID regulations and just the regulations that have been there recently with crossing the borders, you know,
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
work permits now. The companies, I mean, the government is so good on work permits now. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, wrestlers could sneak in and do a whole fucking tour and pretend they went to Disneyland with their
No,
family. But
exactly.
now
Yeah.
the government wants to know everything. Oh, so you're a wrestler. You're going to work. You're going, I can see it on your
Now you're trying to
Instagram.
take a job from an American.
Yeah, you know what I'm
I
saying? So
know.
yes,
It's kind of
so it's
a
very yeah, it's not as easy as it used to be, you know, to
no.
get the Mexican guys to come here. You got to do the paperwork now, you know. So
Yeah. No, for sure. So yeah, Wardlow ends up showing up backstage. That was I just thought it was an awesome moment. It felt
Raw
like
in
an
the 90s.
old fucking exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Exactly.
The last 2 weeks have 2, 3 weeks have been so 1990s Raw. I find so good to watch. Action, continuity, you know, continuity, like you said, like shit's going backstage, the camera's there, following them from outside the building into the building, fighting outside, going to the ring, going down the stairs, using the complete environment. You know,
Yeah.
like sometimes I don't like that about a wrestling company when a guy comes in and he runs into the ring and then another guy comes out. It's supposed to be a surprise. His fucking music starts. Like, how's it a
Yeah.
surprise if his music starts and he's coming out the same fucking way the other guy just left? Like, have him come from the back of the fucking building. Otherwise, how is it a surprise? He was at the same side as the motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I
Like
think that they fixed this. You know what I'm saying? They fixed this problem. Now they have guys popping up from everywhere in the building, out of the crowd, and that's how you make an invasion angle or a surprise appearance happen. Not walking out there. Oh, and his music starts. What the fuck? You saw Moose running down, and you were like, "Oh fuck, I gotta put his
better
music
play a
on."
song.
So how's the guy in the ring gonna get his ass kicked if you play the song? He knows he's coming out. He's like, "Okay, so he's coming. I'm ready." You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, and the Wardlow thing was great. I think I saw Facade playing a security guy. You
He
know the
was
wrestler from
exactly
it
good
was
eye.
him.
It was
It
him.
was Facade. I almost
Yeah.
wrote to him. I was like, "Was that you being a security dude?" Holy
Yeah.
fuck, Facade. I hope he gets to wrestle. I hope they use him even on Dark. He's a great wrestler,
Yeah.
man.
I think he may have already appeared maybe on Dark a
Oh
couple
yeah.
times.
Oh fuck. He's fucking awesome, man. I hope we get to see him on TV.
Yeah, I seen him wrestle a couple times at C4, and yeah, he is pretty good. He
Yeah.
definitely like has like it's like a new school vibe. I would say like new
Yeah.
school, but it's almost an old school vibe at the same time because that is like it was new school, but now it's kind of like an old school look because like no one really has that look anymore.
No. He's got that neon fucking colored shade, dreads, and his wrestling style. I like his second rope moves. Very hard to pull a
Yeah,
second rope flip. Like it's hard to do
it's
over the
dangerous.
third rope
It's actually
from the
dangerous too.
outside. So dangerous to do, man. Like the guy is amazingly athletic. The Neon Ninja.
Exactly.
Props and shout outs to the Neon Ninja.
Yeah, he definitely definitely a star on the rise for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Wardlow.
undisputed. Sorry.
Wardlow.
Yeah, let's talk a bit more about Wardlow for sure. Yeah. They're really making a star out of this guy. Like this moment where and then like MJF just getting away. That was great too. MJF keeps his heat. But
Yeah.
Wardlow, they're building him like amazing. Like I gotta say.
He's Batista. He's Batista or Goldberg.
Yeah, or like Lex Luger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's that big dude that people love to love big dudes. You know, like people love Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying? People
They
love
do.
a guy that
I mean,
know
Brock Lesnar has a huge following for sure.
exactly. He's that dude that's just gonna go through people. And people like guys that steamroll people, man. It's impressive. It's fun to watch a Hercules. You know what I'm saying? And Wardlow's got that look. He's got it. The kid's got it.
AEW has a lot of smaller guys, so he
Yeah.
stands out, you know?
Exactly. So this feud's going to be really good. They're building it up well.
Yeah,
so,
I gotta say, for sure. Definitely agree. And that's one thing too that like we're seeing on Dynamite here. Like every week, it's like the storylines are actually like following from week to week. It's not like we're like seeing something happen and then we don't see the guys for like 4 weeks. They're actually like taking the time to like put out they're taking the time that you need to develop these storylines now. Not like, well, we have to get everyone on the show. It's like, look, there's some guys we haven't seen on the show in a while. That's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, in my opinion, anyways.
No, not at all. It's a great opinion. I mean,
yeah. So then we had Owen Hart, like the Owen Hart tournament start, which I find very bizarre. I love the fact that it's like Owen Hart, you know. I love Owen Hart. Not gonna say that it's anything against Owen Hart, obviously, but I find it weird that we know nothing about this tournament other than like they're only giving us one match at a time. We don't know how many people are gonna be in it. We don't know, and they're gonna have the male tournament going on at the same time. 2 tournaments going on at the same time. I don't find that a good idea.
No, I mean, you're just using up storylines and ideas too quickly. I mean, separate them apart. Why?
Yeah.
And one can outshine the other, and it makes it overshadow the other. You know
like
what I mean?
The same thing, like how the Royal Rumble, like one, like always outshines the other for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, they could like alternate years. Like this year it's a men's, this year's it's women's.
That could exactly. Yeah, exactly. Instead of doing them, or do them both, but at different times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The women's Royal Rumble, the male's Royal Rumble, you know, but I don't know.
So,
but for the tournament, I mean, the Owen Hart thing, I mean, I understand the foundation. I don't understand the association of AEW with Owen Hart. He's never stepped foot there. Out of respect. I mean, I mean, it's kind of like AEW is doing stuff just like, it's kind of like, you know, when you take they're poking at the WWE. They're like, oh, this is disrespect that you did to this guy, so we're going to name our tournament this. You disrespected this guy, so we're going to name our tournament this. You disrespected this guy, so we're going to take this guy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's that.
Like
it's
Tully
kind of
Blanchard, like WWE, they would never sign him. They bring in Tully Blanchard.
Exactly. Exactly. That's what it is.
Pretty...
It's like everything you don't want to do, but the fans wish that we did it, so we wished you did it, but we're gonna do it. You know, kind of like.
They definitely do that. It's
You know,
always,
that's just how it is.
and like I'd say it's unnecessary. Like their fan base doesn't like need that. I don't think, you know.
No, no, I don't think it's needed either. I mean, no, and I don't see the whole Owen Hart thing. I still don't understand it. Unless
Yeah,
I don't know. I really don't understand it. Like if WWE had done it, I would have been like, okay, well, he was there.
yeah, but then
You know what
like
I'm
how he
saying?
died there and everything, like
Oh man, I know that's why they wouldn't touch it, but that's what I mean. That's why they couldn't touch it,
yeah. The only
basically.
thing
So
that would make sense is if like Stampede Wrestling came back, and I'm gonna say a little rant here, okay? I loved I loved Bret Hart, okay? And
yeah,
you know, when I was a kid, of course, growing up in freaking Canada as a wrestling fan, of course, I loved Bret Hart. I think that goes without saying, almost.
oh, he was the
But
best. He was the best.
he was lit like when they say like, oh, he was a Canadian hero, he pretty much was a legit Canadian hero.
He really is. He still is. He is. Let's not talk in the past about Brett. Like the man has had fucking 2 heart attacks.
He
You know what I'm
became
saying?
WWF champion and he was Canadian. Like
Exactly.
for any little kid who's Canadian, that's inspirational for sure.
Yeah. And the fact
Just
that
that,
he
you
had
know.
principles. He
Yeah.
had
He
principles.
portrayed like a good person, someone that could actually be looked up to.
As
You
a
know,
hero, and every kid, and just you know what, okay, so he's done fucked up shit maybe a few times in his life, argumently, you know what I mean, like talking, you know, all he's done is talked, you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
But holy fuck, that guy, every time he went out to the ring, he went and saw a little kid and he put glasses on that little kid and he high-fived that little kid, and to me that's a good person
Yeah.
right
Agreed.
there.
Agreed. But that being said, here's the end of my rant where it turns a little bit here. But okay, Bret Hart, after he left WCW, this guy had a ridiculous amount of money. If he really cared about Canadian wrestling, he could have started Stampede Wrestling back himself, and just his name alone, he would have got a contract back on TSN like Stampede had before, but it would have been
Yeah,
way more popular now. And it would
yeah,
have had Bret Hart, who's a global star, and it would have been a huge brand that would have been a Canadian company that he could have been proud to have actually done that. And
and
he
just
just
think of
never
it.
did that. So how much does Bret Hart really care about Canadian wrestling? That's my rant.
It's a good rant, but I'll be the devil's advocate today. If we talk to him, everything that's happened to him in his wrestling career and the tragic things that have happened in his family, I think he has put wrestling a little bit to the side in certain ways and his involvement in it because of all the stuff over the years that has happened. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? His
yeah,
brother
yeah.
dying, his brother-in-law committing suicide. I think his other boys, one of the other brothers that dead too. Then one of the other brothers died, not like suicide, I think just of old age or something, or
Yeah,
Bruce
yeah.
or
One of
one of
his
the
other
other ones,
brothers died
right?
recently. Yeah, one of his nephews died young. No, he had a lot of
Yeah.
tragedy for
I
sure in his
mean,
family.
Teddy's in fucking jail and he's been in trouble so many times. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That I think he's pulled away from it and he's just like, yo, wrestling has destroyed my family. Like it created my family, but in a
yeah.
way,
Like I
it's
think
destroyed my
he's probably
family.
like over it now, but at one point it was like one thing after another kind of thing.
Exactly, exactly. Now, see, if they were going to do the Owen Hart tournament, they should have brought Bret Hart.
Definitely.
Put
Maybe
him
he'll
on
be there
TV.
to like hand out the trophy.
Put him on TV, you know, and say,
I'm sure
hey,
his
you
wife
know,
will be there. Just
yeah,
because,
yeah. Oh, and oh, yeah, because the money's going to her foundation,
yeah.
basically. The foundation she created, you know, basically.
But I want just think about that for a second though. Imagine if Bret Hart had restarted Stampede Wrestling and how awesome that would have been.
Man, think of it. He would have had Tyson Kidd, Teddy Hart, and Davey Boy Smith Jr.
And
Because
Natty,
and Natty.
Natalia,
He would have started off just with those four, and that's without saying he probably would have had what's his name? Tyler Breeze, who comes from out west.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, he probably would have had Colby Carino, Steve Carino's son. He probably would have had, a couple guys like that that grew up in Canada, from the West and all of that that are in
And then
there.
like who knows, maybe from that era, like Frankie the Mobster, Sexy
I could have
Eddie,
people. Oh
Lufisto,
yeah.
maybe XS.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 2.0 would have probably been there when you think of it. You know what I'm saying?
And it would have
Who's
been
to
a big
say?
brand. Like say it was just on RDS and TSN. Like
Yeah, it would have
just the
been huge.
Canadian. That's what Stampede was. And Stampede also had local TV in Alberta.
Yeah, he could have controlled Canadian wrestling
For
completely,
sure.
being that
For
the
sure.
big Canadian federation. He
Right
could have had Lance
away, he would have been
as a
able to sell
producer.
out big enough arenas to sell out like the Bell Center. I'm pretty fucking sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. Because he's still not super old. He could have been on the card. I
Yeah,
mean, you know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Like say
who
in another universe.
yeah, stay in another universe. Who's to say that he would have had a stroke had he continued wrestling on that day on his bike or whatever happened to him and all of that? You know what I'm saying? You
And
don't know
then
what would have.
if he would have had like Bulldog with him, and like all
Yeah,
the other contacts, maybe Edge, Val Venus, Christian, those guys maybe would have came over.
joined in. That contract's over. Yeah.
Another guy who really was a big fan of Bret and considered him a mentor was The Rock. So I mean,
So many guys, man. So
just
many guys have gone through there.
it was just a cool thought that it just sucks that it never happened, but Canadian
Yeah.
wrestling could really have used more Bret Hart.
Yeah. More of the hearts. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So the main event was Darby Allen against Andrade, which is kind of like they've been building this feud for a while. This was a great match, I would
It was
say.
great. It was fucking, I was surprised at what point it was great. And as I was watching Andrade wrestle, I was like, God damn, he is good.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like this guy is really good. He's a top of the line wrestler. WWE
Yeah.
was foolish for letting this guy go, for sure.
So stupid for letting this guy go, man. Like, holy fuck.
I just find it so funny. Like, I'm not that in the know on Mexican wrestling that much, but I just find it funny that like when he went to WWE, it was obviously to replace Alberto Del Rio. They kind
Yeah.
of gave him his gimmick. I don't think that was his gimmick in Mexico at all. But
No, I think
now,
he wore a mask in Mexico,
yeah,
I think.
exactly. But and
So,
then
yeah.
now in AEW, he also is like doing the like Mexican aristocrat gimmick.
Yeah.
It's like they needed like wrestling needed like an Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah. Who just, by the way, finished his rehab. So let's see
I
where
was a
this
big
takes
fan
us,
of his.
man.
I
I
really
liked
thought,
Alberto. If he could control his temper, you know what I mean, and
him and
stop making
Daniel
fucked up
Bryan had
decisions,
some like
man.
probably like forgotten matches on these horrible pay-per-views where like Cena and the Great Khali were fighting. These guys were really having some really good wrestling matches on these like horrible
Yeah.
pay-per-views.
Even I'll go as far as to say is even towards the end of it there, when he showed up in Impact, when they had
Oh
just
yeah, he
signed
was
with
great in
Bellator,
Impact.
he was great. And then he just completely flew off the rails, man. Like
Yeah.
completely fucking flew off the rails. He had that company by the balls. They were gonna make him the company. They
I
basically
remember
took
there
Nick.
was some Impact episodes where he was like literally on like 5 segments.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing too. They brought in Nick Aldis because they took Global Force Wrestling. They made
Yeah.
Nick Aldis champion, and then Del Rio came in. And as soon as Del Rio came in, I think that's what made Nick Aldis mad at Impact. It's because as soon as Del Rio was available, they stripped him. They basically said, "You're going to lose to Del Rio. Del Rio's the champion." And it was kind of like a fuck you at Nick Aldis. It was kind of like a second fuck you at Nick Aldis. He got the first one when he was Magnus. And then
Yeah.
he comes back and he gets a fuck you again. Like, oh, here's the title. Oh, you lose it next fucking pay-per-view to Del Rio. And that's why all this was like, fuck Impact. That's it. I'm never going back. Bye. You know.
Yeah. He has such a unique career being like in the NWA through all its ups and downs.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go through some news about Nick Aldis later when we start
Yeah.
talking. Got some news on Nick Aldis.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be talking about that later. Yeah, so that's it for Dynamite. Now let's get into the future. So we'll go over quickly the WrestleMania card. Night one, Saturday, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey.
It's gonna be okay, I think.
They've been building it. Yeah, I think that might be, it's probably going to be the main event. And I don't know, like you have Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair on the same night. I don't know. I feel like Becky Lynch might be the biggest star of all four of them. What do you think? Like I
think
feel
she
like
thinks.
Ronda
I think
Rousey.
she thinks she's the biggest star of the four of them. I think Ronda Rousey is the biggest star of the four of them.
Yeah, I know she's the biggest star, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like they've built her up. I don't know. She's horrible on the mic. I'll say that. I mean, when you're that intimidating, when you're legit that intimidating, you don't have to be that good on the mic. But her, it's the same thing as freaking Brock Lesnar. His promo on Raw this week, he's just like, ha ha ha, like I'm so bad at this. Anyways, he just keeps talking.
Yeah.
I mean, compare that to the build to like WrestleMania 15 with The Rock's promos or Stone Cold.
Oh man, it's not even comparable.
And
And
like
that's why they've
Rousey
only
and
got.
Lesnar are like almost interchangeable at these point. These like
Yeah.
unbeatable baby faces.
What I don't understand about Ronda Rousey is why does she not have a manager?
She should have a manager.
She
I
should
wish she
have a
was
damn.
like an old school style manager.
Why is she with Vicky Guerrero? Excuse me.
Oh man.
Excuse me. I was waiting for her to say it tonight. I was like, she's got to scream it on the microphone. It's the most annoying sound between that and hands on a chalkboard.
Yeah, it's like
Fingers down it.
it's a toss up, which is worse.
It's a toss up, which is where it's Vicky Guerrero screaming "Excuse me" on a microphone.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But if Rousey had someone talking for her, she would be marvelous because her in-ring work has gotten so much better from when she first
Yeah.
showed up. Like,
Oh yeah.
you
So
know,
do you
so
think she'll take the title? I see
I
her
think
taking the title.
I see her taking the title because I think this time she wants to stay. I don't
Yeah.
think it's just few matches and you're out and all of this. I think she's on the roster and they need people on that damn roster. I think they gave her the money to stay. I think her contract is going to be a while. If you, yeah, in my opinion, they need it. They need the star power. They need that.
No, they
you know?
definitely do. I'll say like when I went to the house show, like I guess a month ago or so, she got a crazy ovation. Even I cheered her quite a bit. She's a big star for sure. Like she's a known name. I would say she was a household name 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Still has
Exactly.
a lot of notoriety.
Yeah, she has a lot of pull. She has a lot of notoriety and pull.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
like
mean?
her winning the belt at WrestleMania, that'll be a big moment. That'll be probably on ESPN and whatnot, you know?
Exactly. And that's what they're looking to get,
Yeah,
at this
for
point.
sure.
They need that, so
Yeah.
definitely.
We get the Usos against Shinsuke and Rick Boogs
Boo.
for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Filler match.
Exactly.
Not that there's anything wrong with like any of these guys. It's just I think that this match has probably even happened on SmackDown.
Exactly. I think that's the problem. I think some of these matches is too much, just like it's the booking. You're just like, okay, whatever. I'm not like fiending to see this match. You know what I'm saying? I'm not.
No, exactly. It's like even the tag team titles back in the old days. British Bulldogs against the Hart Foundation, or maybe later on like New Age
Demolition,
Outlaws.
or Demolition versus the Powers of Pain, even back
There
in
you
those days.
go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be a big fan of tag team wrestling. I would actually watch wrestling for tag team wrestling. I was a tag team wrestling fan more than I was a Hulk Hogan, Ultimate fucking Warrior fan. You know what I mean? I liked
In the
the Hart
80s, they
Foundation
had a great WWF had an amazing tag team roster,
tag
probably the
roster,
best.
the Hart Foundation, the Rougeos. You know what I'm saying? The
That
Powers
was
of
the best
Pain.
era for sure.
The Islanders, even the Islanders, when it was Fatu Samu, yeah, it was Samu, Fatu and Samu, man, Jesus, fucking amazing, man, they were fucking amazing,
Yeah, exactly.
so
So yeah, like Shinsuke, I guess he's just like a mid Carter that people love at this point. Good for Rick Boogs to get his first WrestleMania booking.
yeah,
The Usos, I don't know. I guess they'll win this match or not.
yeah,
I don't
most
know.
probably. I like the Usos. I like
I
to
do
see them
too. That's
forever.
it. Like I think they
I,
deserve a better feud,
yeah,
and
exactly.
so does
You know,
Shinsuke. You know.
Shinsuke deserves to be constantly in the mid card title matches, or why aren't you having this guy in a 60-minute match? 2 out of 3 falls. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Let's
he's
see
an
him
amazing
wrestle.
wrestler.
Let's see like what he can do. Yeah. Let's.
But see, seems to be the problem with the WWE. They want to go so far from the word wrestling that the matches and the bookings are just
It's like a
bookings.
sitcom in the ring.
Exactly. It's just like, oh, today it's Steve versus Frank. Hey, Steve, you're going to go in, you're going to go against Frank. But remember, guys, fireworks, entertainment. Yeah, but
Yeah.
what type of match are we having? It's not important. Fireworks, showmanship,
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay. So that's why when you're talking about the booking of the matches, you're just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about this match. There's no buildup that's intense for this. It's unnecessary. There's no reason for these fucking teams to be even meeting. And then why the fuck are these other two dudes a team? Why is Shinsuke and Rick Boogs even a team? Well, because it was cool. He could play guitar backstage. Oh, you could play guitar for Shinsuke. Oh, now you can team with Shinsuke. It's stupid.
It's
It's
like it's almost like the Rusev Day thing, but the Rusev Day thing was way more popular, and they didn't even go with anywhere with that. So why are they going anywhere with this?
Exactly. It's bad wrestling writing. It's just bad and meaningless. And it's like, okay, so that's good for your TV show because your TV show is a weekly thing. But when it comes time to sell tickets for an event, every match on that event has to have a reason, which
Well,
is
yeah.
what
Otherwise,
WrestleMania
it's
used to
like
be.
this. I would say like I'd probably want to go get like a hot dog, some popcorn during that match. Maybe
Exactly.
call my
But for
parents and be
them,
like, "Texas is awesome, WrestleMania,
yeah, exactly. Oh,
yeah."
what match are you missing? Shinsuke and Boogs versus the Usos, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I saw that 3 weeks ago on SmackDown.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. We got after Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. I don't know how that's gonna go.
I don't
Uh,
care.
I don't care. Yeah. I
How many
mean,
times has The Miz feuded with Rey Mysterio in his goddamn career? Didn't I see this in 2004 or 5?
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they've feuded before for sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you not know what to do anymore with these guys? Do you just not know what to do with these people? Well, get
Like
rid
we
of
need
all
to
the old
find
guys.
something for Logan Paul, like
Yeah, exactly. I don't know,
tagging
man.
with The Miz. No one's gonna remember this. I mean, and this is another problem. Okay, you got Rick Boogs, Dominic Mysterio, who was never on NXT. Who are any of the guys since last WrestleMania that they've brought up from NXT that are on this WrestleMania that are like your new fucking hot characters of the year? There's none.
Nobody.
Because they've made no new good characters this year.
Exactly. That's the
Like
only
Rick
thing that they've been.
Boogs, is that your best fucking new character?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. The only thing that they've been able to do is revamp a few guys' careers that were like
Yeah.
lost, like Sami Zayn, like, just to name it one guy,
Yeah.
Sheamus. You know what I'm saying? Like it's guys who were kind of like drifting off into are they going to abolish their contract? And then, oh no, he's good again and he counts for something
And he's
again.
there every
You know what I
week
mean?
now again.
And
Yeah.
he's there every week. Yay.
The writers
It's-
fucking found something for him to do.
Exactly. There's a lot of that going on, I find, with this company.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I'll
say after this we get what I'll think is probably going to be the best match of night one, Edge versus AJ Styles,
which should have been the match.
Yeah, put the title on one of them, make this the main event. Why not?
You know what I'm saying? Like now, that's a WrestleMania match.
Yeah,
That's a match that you're like, yo, I saw the first match between Edge and AJ Styles. Like at one point, he was the top guy of one company, and at the same time, the other guy was the top guy of the other company. That's what a lot of people can't say, and this is what they can't even build this fucking matchup because the WWE doesn't fucking pretends that everything outside of them doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It magically doesn't exist.
But then
It does
AJ
exist.
Styles shows up at the Royal Rumble and somehow everyone knows him.
Exactly. So you got the guy who at one point at the same time was the world champion from the second company after you was TNA by far, but they still were there and they were getting close to 1 million people watching their show. You know what I'm saying? So you could have booked it champion versus champion, legend versus legend. Who was the best in 2010? Was it Edge or was it AJ Styles? Now we can find out, but they're not doing that. That's not the build up to it. That's not the
this
build
was only one night. That would be an awesome semi-main event.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This should be the main event before the big main event, which is Lesnar and Reigns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It should have been one night WrestleMania like it used to be. Fuck this 2-night fill-in bullshit. We need to make a lot of money. One night. And that should have been the fucking semi match.
Yo, back in the day, WrestleMania, 4 till 8 had more matches than these have in both nights. Those WrestleManias would have almost 20 matches. Don't you remember? They would just keep fucking rolling the guys out there. It felt like watching a football game or something. Literally, it was almost like a marathon, But
exactly. But so far, in my opinion, when I see this, there's only 4 matches there that are worth anything in both nights.
Well, yeah, that's
Lesnar
the thing.
versus Reigns. It's Lesnar versus Reigns. It's Seth Rollins versus Cody, AJ versus Edge, and Owens versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
The rest of it, don't know. Don't really fucking care. And then you can add the Rousey versus Charlotte for a title because that's probably the best girl match that you're going to get. The rest of it is just a fucking fill in.
Yeah,
literally,
is.
It
really is. We're going to get the Owens welcome Stone Cold thing on night 1. Awesome. I mean, awesome. Whatever happens in that'll just be a cool moment.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that Austin is in good shape and that this leads to something really cool.
Yeah. Hopefully, but I don't think so.
We're getting I don't know. I think we're going to end up somehow disappointed by this.
Yeah, me too.
We're getting
in my
Seth
opinion.
Rollins versus presumably Cody Rhodes. Maybe I've been hearing maybe Shane McMahon, who if it's that, everyone's going to shit on it so bad.
Everybody's going to shit on it so bad. That would be the nail that would start to nail the coffin. Here's the first nail. Tack. And not because I don't like Shane O'Mac. I mean, Shane O'Mac goes out there. He's entertaining. He gives a lot. But people are just they're expecting Cody to come out. Even though the whole Cody and Seth Rollins thing hasn't really had a build-up that's worth shit.
No.
Because he isn't in the company.
It's just Seth Rollins acting like an ass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still going to be a sick match because the two are good fucking wrestlers, and the pop
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that they're going to get, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So
yeah. No, yeah. Like that'll probably end up being a good match. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Seth Rollins at WrestleMania usually gives a
he
good
puts
one.
it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Then we have these two matches that I'm just gonna group in together as why the fuck, like who cares? Not why are these guys there, but like who cares? Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin, shall I say Happy Corbin, and the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland, accompanied by Butch.
It's
Both
just a
those
headache.
matches, like that, both those matches are just like day one filler.
Exactly.
Um, and like, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, Drew McIntyre last year, the guy was main eventing. Well, it wasn't main eventing, but he was going for the world title. He had a world title match now this year against Baron Corbin. Like, both these guys feel like they should be like more relevant at this time.
Exactly. Exactly. I
I
would have
see on
rather
Raw,
see-
you know what Baron Corbin did? He stole his sword. That's the build to this match. This is like Jean-Pierre Lafitte stealing Bret Hart's freaking leather jacket.
it's
I think that was
retarded.
actually better.
It was better because first of all, why does he have a sword?
I know. I freaking hate the fact that he has a sword.
It's 2022, people. Like, why is he walking around with a sword?
It
Like,
makes
wouldn't he
no
just
sense.
bring the sword to the ring and use it and win everything?
It's
Like,
so cartoon-like.
it's too cartoonish. It's too cartoonish. And it's so
Like,
discouraging from a man
I was
that's
just
so
thinking,
talented.
it's so cartoonish. Like, He-Man never stabbed anyone with his sword in He-Man.
Mhm. Even-
That's why he doesn't either.
Exactly.
Fucking
He's
ridiculous.
He-Man. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's
He's
fucking.
Prince Adam.
Who's Prince Adam?
It's a
Oh, okay,
He-Man's
He-Man.
fucking
I thought
other.
you were going. I thought you were going on to another match, and you were like Prince Adam. I was like, oh, so they got a fucker named Prince Adam now. Who's this? Who's the poor bastard that got his name changed to Prince Adam?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the He-Man's original name there, which is just an absurd backstory He-Man has, but that's for another day. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. I feel bad for the New Day. Hopefully they have a good entrance. Good for
They're
Ridge
gonna throw
Holland for
pancakes.
getting. Look, there's a guy who got a promotion. He's not
Yeah.
even like near the best guy on NXT.
Yeah, man.
I mean, at all.
You
Like,
say his name and I yawn. I just yawned.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Plus, the guy has a broken nose. Just let him get fucking healed up.
I mean, they could have put. I refuse to call him Butch.
Butch,
I
yeah.
mean, they could have put Dunn in there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
really. What the
It should
actual
have been
fuck? I
Sheamus.
know.
I
I
don't know.
agree.
Whatever. I don't know. Okay.
Night two. We'll go over this quick. Bobby Lashley versus Omos. Um, apparently, at one point, that was supposed to be like for the world title when Lashley was a champion. Lashley comes back. I'm just happy to see Lashley back. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
love Lashley. Lashley's great, but almost. I mean, besides him being an impressive guy, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I know. Like too much. It's too WWE. He reminds me, he's like El Gigante back in the WCW days.
Exactly. He's the giant Gonzalez, man.
Yeah.
Like he's just gonna hurt somebody because he's gonna
In
fucking
5 years,
drop them.
people are just gonna be like, LOL, Omos, you know?
Yeah, or something weird's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Because he's all tall and lanky. Something's gonna snap accidentally doing
No,
a
yeah,
move
he
off.
might get some dirty injury or
Yeah,
something.
and that'll be the last that we'll see of Omos.
We get
I hope not. I mean, the guy might be a nice guy, but yeah,
no, for sure, for sure. And I mean, if they book him right, it could turn out good, but it's not starting out,
no, not at
to
all.
say the least. Women's tag team championships, 4 teams. This is just to get them all on the show. Sadly, um, that's just a whatever match. Orton and Riddle against the Street Profits against Alpha Academy for the Raw tag titles. I have like 1% interest in that match, I guess.
Yeah, the only interest is Riddle and Orton. So
Yeah, like they're a team and they just like feud with whatever teams are on Raw, but the teams they're feuding with are nowhere near as over or on their level. So it's like
exactly.
makes no sense.
It makes no sense. It's like an episode of Raw, basically,
Yeah.
being put onto, you know.
At this point, like those matches feel like a shitty episode of Raw. And it feels like, oh no, because I was gonna say it feels like they're separating like why didn't they just make one night SmackDown WrestleMania, one night Raw WrestleMania? I think that would have actually been more interesting.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, that's a good angle, man. That's a good
It would
angle.
have
They
been
could
like
have.
more competitive, and then they could have really like built a card each instead
Yeah,
of this clusterfuck. And we get Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Like, what was the point of Austin Theory being with Vince McMahon that whole time? Now they never like he was like feuding with Finn Balor, and now he's feuding with Pat McAfee, but we're not seeing Vince McMahon talking with him anymore. Now Vince McMahon is focused on the Seth Rollins thing.
I don't know, man.
That
For
being
real, it's
said, I just hope Pat McAfee has a good match. Austin Theory's fine. She's actually pretty good. I think this is like
yeah,
his third WrestleMania. He wrestled at WrestleMania randomly 2 years ago.
yeah. He did.
Yeah, so he's like a young veteran. He's probably had more WrestleMania matches than like he might have as many as like X-Pac now or like something like that.
Yeah, for real. When you think of it, yeah.
Sami Zayn against Johnny Knoxville, like that's awesome. I love how like the Quebec guys are at least getting some
Yeah, they're good.
moments
They're
that
on the
people are gonna remember. You know,
exactly. That's gonna be a memorable moment. Yeah.
all the Jackass guys are probably gonna be there.
Oh yeah, and
You
that's how
know,
he's gonna win. Watch them make Johnny not. Isn't Sami Zayn still Intercontinental Champion?
no, he lost the title to Ricochet, who's not defending the title at WrestleMania. Apparently, the Intercontinental title has not been defended at a pay-per-view since last WrestleMania.
Wow. It just goes
Uh,
to show the respect they had for Pat Patterson's belt, man. Wow.
oh, fuck, they used to be such a great belt. I think personally that they could unify the belts and just make the Intercontinental title the main title of one show, and
They
really
could,
make
or
it
the
shine.
US title. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like the fact that they have two world titles overshadows everything
and it
to
makes
me.
it like it makes it feel more inconsequential. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So then we
Exactly.
get the main event, which I will say the build, like there's been some good weeks. Last week, just Brock coming out on the mic was just horrible.
It's
Roman against Brock,
gonna
title
be good.
unification match.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I mean, they're building it as the biggest match of all time. I wouldn't go that far, but
Fuck no.
it's definitely gonna be good.
Who's gonna
Uh,
win in your opinion?
who's gonna win? In my opinion, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I don't necessarily want him to win or not, but I think he really is a great heel. Like,
He is. And he's been the only fire that they've had on their show for a while now. So they can't put this fire out. They gotta continue the heat.
that's it. Like, when they were pushing him down everyone's throat as a face, it was like a low of the company almost, I would say, at one point.
Yeah.
Him as a heel is honestly like he's worthy of his spot as like the main eventer
Yeah.
with Paul Heyman
And
and
the Uso.
whatnot, you know.
Yeah, that whole family thing is pretty fucking good. Yeah, the head of
Yeah.
the table thing. Yeah.
So let's get into some other more fun things to talk about.
Yeah.
Before we go here. So Friday night, Yeah, of course, there's SmackDown, and then after SmackDown, there's the Hall of Fame. Oh, I just want to mention Finn Balor, not booked also on WrestleMania. Who also
Wow.
isn't booked? Ricochet, not booked on WrestleMania. Damian Priest, not booked on WrestleMania. You have 2 nights, and you can't find anywhere for these guys. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, it's ridiculous. The booking is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stop talking about WWE. It's giving me a headache.
Yeah. So we are going to Supercard of Honor, which is going to be at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. First Ring of Honor show in quite some time.
Yeah.
And first Ring of Honor show under the new regime. So, first match. What a crazy ass match. I didn't even know this was a match. Rhett Titus. I can't even believe that. I'm surprised AEW is even bringing him in. I'm surprised he was the Ring of Honor TV champion. He's
Oh, you
defending
didn't
the
know he
US
won,
the
yeah.
TV title against Minoru Suzuki. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a new ROH title champion, and he
Yeah.
might kill Rhett Titus. That's gonna be something to watch.
It
Holy
is. It's going to
crap.
be a good match. Suzuki's been making a few appearances in the U.S., man. He's good. He's
Oh, he's
old.
legit.
He's like a mean old man. Like he really is. He looks like a mean old man. He's like a mean
So
old
stiff.
Japanese man. So stiff. Man, I would not want to be in the ring with this guy. I have total respect for this man. I actually fear this man. Like
I can't
he,
believe that that's a match.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. No,
No,
not
yeah,
me.
this is going to be something to watch. Minoru Suzuki, if he wins the Ring of Honor TV championship, that'll be very interesting.
Yeah,
Next
that's
match,
definitely.
Ninja Mac, who is a GCW standout. He had an awesome match with Mike Bailey, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he was on Impact too. On there, if you go to the Impact Plus, he's in one of their selection matches against Doc Gallows, or is it against Doc Gallows? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, against Doc Gallows in a
he must
singles
have been
match.
giving up
Yeah.
a lot of size there. Eh?
Yeah.
I heard he's also going to be making his first trip to Japan soon. And so this guy's really on the rise. He's a real, like, his gimmick looks kind of generic. But yeah, he's pretty awesome once you give him a chance in the ring. He's taking
Yeah.
on a to be like unannounced opponent who's going to be accompanied by Tully Blanchard. So maybe this is like the new starting point of Tully Blanchard. And maybe Tully Blanchard's going to be like a Ring of Honor manager.
That's why they probably cut him away from FTR or whatnot. Wouldn't it be cool if it was an intergender match and it's his daughter that came
Oh man, that would be really good.
to take on Ninja?
That would be awesome. I mean, yeah. How awesome would that be? Really, like Tessa Blanchard, we've been waiting to see where she's going to pop up.
Yeah.
That would be a great surprise. Hopefully it is him. Her, shall I say.
Yeah.
So next match, Mercedes Martinez versus Willow Nightingale for the interim ROH championship, women's championship, that is. That should be interesting.
Yeah, because they couldn't book Purrazzo because Purrazzo was at the same night she's wrestling at the Multiverse.
Yeah.
And
Right
Tony
after.
Khan, yeah, Tony Khan said that he was okay with that because him and Scott were going over it. He says, of course, he would have loved to have Purrazzo defend the title on Ring of Honor, but he understands that, you know, at the end of the day, the other company wants her on their pay-per-view night, you know, so
Yeah.
I guess they couldn't come to an agreement unless she comes out at the end just in the ring to beat people up so she doesn't have to wrestle. You know what I mean? So that could be a possibility or something to show off the real Ring of Honor title. You know what I'm saying? Or whatnot to whoever wins that match. So, yeah.
I say it's important that they build like the women's division for sure.
Yeah, they need to. They really need to. Yeah.
We're going to get Josh Woods taking on Wheeler Yuta for the ROH Pure Championship. I predict Wheeler Yuta to win that match. What do you think?
I don't know. Josh the Good Woods, man. It all depends if they decided to sign him to the Ring of Honor, if his Ring of Honor contract is going to be for field again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot of unsure things. We're not sure about many things.
Yeah.
A lot of things will be made clear here, on
Yeah.
this night.
Exactly.
Jay Lethal taking on Lee Moriarty, which sounds like a dark match, like AEW Dark,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Both good wrestlers and all, but
Yeah. I don't.
yeah, I mean, it is what it is kind of match, I guess.
Yeah.
Swerve Strickland against Alex Zane. Alex
That's gonna be
Zane
good.
is like pretty crazy high flyer. That's
He is.
cool.
He is. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's gonna be a really good match, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and Swerve deserves more of a spotlight for sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
A big match that everyone's been looking forward to for the ROH World Tag Team titles. The Briscoe brothers taking on FTR.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins this? I think FTR wins the ROH
I do too.
titles here.
I do too, because I don't think the Briscoes are gonna be with AEW.
No. That's probably going to be a very interesting match.
Yeah, I don't think the Briscoes get along with the Bucks. I don't think they have a good relationship with some of the guys that left for AEW. I don't think so. I don't
I
see the
heard they have
Briscoes.
and there's been some Twitter controversy.
Yeah, some comments that the Briscoes say sometimes and stuff,
Yeah.
could be held into a faux pas. You know what I
Yeah, in
mean? Some
today's
companies.
political climate, especially, everyone's
Exactly.
so
So I
sensitive.
see them more signing with GCW, staying with GCW on a permanent, or maybe Impact might take them because they are appearing for Impact tonight
Yeah,
too. But
exactly.
I think the appearance for Ring of Honor is only to make them lose the titles.
Yeah, that probably will end up being the case, unfortunately.
Because if
but
AEW really wanted them, they would have signed them a couple months ago.
yeah, agreed, for sure.
Yeah, no. So
Main event: Jonathan Grisham versus Bandito, who will be accompanied by Chavo Guerrero Jr. The winner will be the undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito, who is right now in Mexico, I believe, because Brad Alexis has been training at his gym all month. And yeah, Bandito has an epic gym down in Mexico. And yeah, I don't know. I'm going for Bandito in this one, even though
yeah,
it's probably
Bandito is
pretty
definitely.
obvious that Jonathan Grisham will probably win. I don't know.
Bandito's going to win because I saw something interesting today. I regularly look on Wikipedia for the list of Impact talent.
Yeah.
They haven't listed Grisham, and he's been wrestling there for months right now, right? As the Ring of Honor champion.
Right.
He hasn't been listed. This week, they've officially listed him in Wikipedia, along with Alex Shelley, who's been put back as a roster member of Impact Wrestling. So I think Gresham signed with Impact or has an agreement with Impact. I think the title is going to be dropped to Bandito, and I think
And
Gresham's
he'll just
going to
join the Impact roster.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay with his wife in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, well, he's been doing pretty good, and it seems like he's starting a feud with Eddie Edwards.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's where it's going to go. Yeah, I think they're going to start to push that more, and yeah, I think I see him staying with Impact. I see him being I definitely see him being the next Impact big signing. I think it's going to be Grisham.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Right away, he's already been fitting in with the roster, and I could see him going X Division, even mixing it up with the main, the.
Could you imagine it's an Impact Rebellion? Just an example, throwing it out. Josh Alexander versus John Grisham for the fucking world title. Like how that would be a sick, just an incredible man. You know what I'm saying? So
and two guys that a couple of years ago people could have just driven a couple hours down the road to Ottawa seen both of them performing at C4 Wrestling, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, and I
so-
gotta mention this. Most insane thing I've heard in a while out of Quebec wrestling, and fuck, these guys have balls, and I commend them. BCW is running the same freaking night as WrestleMania Night 1 this Saturday. They're actually running a freaking show in Beauharnois, I believe. And
Really?
good for them. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to end up drawing because most fans are probably going to be at home watching WrestleMania, but
Oh, for
that's
sure. For
freaking
sure.
awesome.
You said BCW?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the
As
time to
in
look
Border
this.
City Wrestling?
No, not Border City Wrestling. It's a BCW here in the Quebec area. It's Lit BCW or Vieux Saint Martin Volume 1. It's tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Let's see what's
Oh,
going
maybe
on
because
here.
it's at 7:30. That's why they did it. Maybe they said to themselves, we can get a few fans before WrestleMania starts or whatnot.
Well, it starts like half an hour later. It's at 7:30 p.m. You know? Oh, they're
Yeah.
going straight up head to head with WrestleMania. It's Beauharnois Championship Wrestling. It's at Le Vieux Saint Martin, which I guess is it's a bar spectacle. Le Vieux Saint Martin. I don't know anything about Beauharnois. Here, let's put over some of the Quebec wrestlers here. We're gonna have Angie Sky and Marie-Lee Rose taking on Skulls Club. I think Angie Sky and Marie-Lee Rose will probably kick the shit out of those dudes. Ruthless Ryan Donovan taking on the Raccoon, Jason Pizziclair from Sorel.
Oh, big shout out to Jason.
Yeah,
That's
you
my
know him from
boy.
Sorel? You see him around?
Oh, he's my boy, man. Yeah,
He's a
man.
cool guy.
I was good friends. I used to work with his cousin, the one that committed suicide, unfortunately.
Wow, really? That's
Uh,
sad, man.
yeah.
You told me about that too. And yeah, small world, eh? No, yeah. So
Yeah.
Jason Pizziclair will be not watching WrestleMania Night 1. Not that I don't
He'll
think
be
he'll
watching it.
really.
I bet you he'll be watching it on his phone.
Yeah, these guys, maybe they'll have a TV set up backstage for these guys or something.
Oh, yeah, most probably, I'd say. Yeah.
You're gonna have Frank Evans versus Alex Cooper and Jason Gray versus Zach Patterson. So if you're in Beauharnois, get down there. I just love the fact that they're doing this show. I mean, cool. Why not, right?
I mean, kudos to them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I hope they get at least 100 people, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good card. All things considered. I'm sure a lot of guys probably wanted to take the night off to chill with their friends and have a WrestleMania party. But hey, there's no night off in fucking wrestling. That's what I heard the first
Nope.
day I got in.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Let's go over the multiverse impact card here before we go.
Oh,
This is
man.
probably the show that we're both looking forward to most.
Yeah.
So there's going to be Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Women's Match. Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz versus Decay versus Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost versus The Influence. How come what are they called? The Attraction.
The inspiration. The inspiration.
Where are they? They're not booked.
And they're not booked for this night. No, they're not booked for this. But they've been showing up. They've been there at all the last tapings and everything. So maybe they're back in Australia again. It might be papers.
Yeah, they were on this last episode here. I was watching earlier, and there was a woman.
So they were in Philadelphia. They might be there for signings. They might just not be booked that night. They might be like, okay, we have the titles. We've wrestled a lot recently. Let's just, sit back and let some of the teams, the girls, be relevant again. Because it can't just be those two nonstop going back and forth and back and forth. You know what I mean? So they'll show up doing something else.
Speaking of relevant women, my favorite women wrestler and most relevant, Chelsea Green, teaming with Matt Cardona, taking on Mickie James, and returning to Impact, Nick Aldis.
Yes, which is what I
Let's hear
wanted
it.
to
You
say.
got some
Yeah.
news?
Oh man, did you see on Impact Plus the interview? Like he did the promo. I wish they had put that on Impact last week. Maybe
No.
tonight he's there. He might be there tonight. Like we're not watching the show right now, so he might be there tonight. He might show up tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, pretty good. He was talking about how he's back to be in Impact. He's happy to be back in Impact. He's sad that it's with this because of this. He would have rather his return been under other circumstances. I guess, another type of surprise or whatever, but he made it to where he came out because Matt Cardona got involved in this. He's like, you made our little scrub from the NWA come here. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
pretty good. They're adding to the multiverse again with Nick Aldis representing the NWA. They've got that down. NWA versus Impact for this match, so
That's it.
which
I
could be the
mean,
start of something, who knows?
yeah, I
They've got a
like that.
working agreement, so
Yeah. Yeah,
it's gonna be great to see Nick Aldis back, man, in Impact. It's gonna be great.
Exactly.
I
It's gonna
cannot
be
wait.
different. It's gonna be some people thought this day would never come type thing.
But again, you know what I'm saying? New management, different. I mean, the owners that owned it back then, they had just bought it. They didn't hire. It was Bruce Pritchard that was running it. So what happened
it's a totally
to him with
different
Del
management
Rio?
team now.
Yeah, that was a Bruce Pritchard move. You know what I'm saying? And before that, it was a Carter family move. So he got fucked over by Carter's, and then he's got fucked over by Pritchard. But he's never been fucked over by Scott D'Amore. He's had a great relationship with D'Amore. His wife has been working there for the last year, and she seems happy. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it was only a given that he was going to show up. In my head, I was like, the only reason he hasn't showed up yet is because, contracts with the NWA. He's the face of the NWA.
That's
you know
it.
what
Yeah,
I'm
he has
saying?
a
It's
pretty,
built around.
pretty tight contract there.
Exactly. If he didn't have that contract, I guarantee you, he'd have been back he had already been back a few months ago, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
We're going to have Jonah and Josh Alexander versus Moose and PCO. So it's like the two singles feuds, the two guys teaming up, going in the tag. I predict this would be an awesome match, and it'll probably just be like a crazy brawl.
Yeah, it'll be everybody for himself. It'll start out as a tag match. It's going to finish everybody. They're going to be breaking the building left and right.
Yeah, exactly. I predict that too.
And it's just a build up to Josh Alexander versus Moose at Rebellion. This is just a tip, because if you saw the Destiny clip of Moose spearing Josh Alexander's wife, you can see it on Impact Plus for free. Fan footage of Moose showing up at the Destiny show out of the crowd and spearing Jade in the middle of the ring as Josh has his two kids, and then the image of Josh and his two kids over Jade as she's on the ground, like completely like. As Moose runs away, I'm like, now this is how you build a feud. Like he showed up at the house. Now he speared the wife. Like this is going to be
really a good build for sure. One of my favorite Moose feuds so far, I would say, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
He's had some cool ones though. Moose is a pretty cool character. We have Alex Shelley versus Mike Bailey, which goes without saying. Should be awesome. Should be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be a good filler. It's a good filler. It's putting two talented guys in, it's going to be good. So
yeah. And earlier, I guess, or later on in the night, apparently Bailey is wrestling twice this night, because apparently he's also in the Ultimate X match.
Yeah.
With him, Rich Swann, Vincent, who seems like a weird addition to the X division, but we'll see. Actually, no. I don't know. I think he could do more high flying than we've seen him do.
I've seen him do a lot of high flying in his early Ring of Honor days.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking back. I think he was more of a high flyer before he got the gimmick.
Yeah, before he got the gimmick of a crazy psycho hippie, you know what I'm saying, guy. But he can go. I mean, his senton bomb is one of his, you know what I mean, is one of his finishing moves.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a high flying finishing move. He's more of a suicidal high flyer than your typical high flyer. He's more a guy that just puts his body in danger when he needs to get done. He's a brawler with, like, you know what I mean? Some
like high risk.
suicidal, high flying, high risk moves every now and
I
then.
don't even think we got to see that much. We didn't even get to see the full extent of what he can do in Ring of Honor. So maybe we'll get to see even more of what he can do in Impact now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm liking this. They're using him a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He can't
yeah, I like
complain
that too.
about. I mean, he can't complain that he's not getting used. He's getting used, even though he's part of a group. He gets to speak. He says his mind. He gives his little speech, his little spew every now and then. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I see him remaining in Impact for a while. I think he's happy there. I think they all seem pretty happy there, those guys.
So yeah, also in the match, Trey Miguel, who's the champion, Jordan
And
Grace,
Rich Swann.
and Rich Swann, yeah, as I mentioned, and Blake Christian, who mostly wrestles out of GCW, who I think
Yeah,
is
but
a
see,
great...
I think Bailey's going to be taken out of the Ultimate X match. I think if I saw properly last week, they were talking about how I don't think he's going to be there. I think that's a mistake
Yeah,
because when I saw, I think
I
Blake
doubt he'll
Christian's
be
name,
wrestling twice. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Blake
logically.
Christian's name wasn't there when I saw it. I think they accidentally added Blake Christian's name and forgot to take Bailey off. I think Blake Christian is the one replacing Mike Bailey in the Ultimate X match.
That could very well make sense for sure.
Yeah.
We have Deonna Purrazzo defending the ROH title, which is so weird because she's not defending it on the show earlier. But as we said, anything can kind of happen. Versus to be announced, which maybe it'll be the winner of from the show earlier right away gets a title shot here.
That could be, yeah. That might have. That would be a pretty good way of making it. Maybe that's what he meant. Me and Scott are working it out. Maybe that's how they're going to work it out. I see Mercedes Martinez probably winning that other match earlier
and showing up here
in Impact because she's been in Impact recently. She's familiar with everybody that works there. I see her showing up with the interim title to challenge Purrazzo for the real title. Yeah. I see that as what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that could make that sounds like it could make sense. Tomohiro Ishii taking on Eddie Edwards, which should be like a great strong style Japanese kind of match.
Oh man, this is going to be Eddie Edwards at his best. And if you go on Impact Plus, you can see Eddie Edwards do his monologue, his you know what I mean, before about the match and stuff, and it's the first time he's actually said he's die hard Eddie Edwards. We've seen him wearing the gear. He hasn't said it on the mic. The guy that calling him out hasn't called him die hard yet, but on Impact Plus in his last monologue before this and everything, he said you're facing die hard Eddie Edwards. So I was like, finally, there it is. Now they've introduced the die hard character. Now he's going to go all out. You're going to see Eddie Edwards at his best because he's going to be mean. He's going to wrestle strong style. It's going to be fucking so entertaining to watch. Like the few months coming. Like this is the Eddie Edwards. This is the Eddie Edwards that, you know, we've needed to see for the last few years. You know what I'm saying? Like this is
like he was as good as like guys who like since like when he was at the top of Ring of Honor, like let's just say he was regarded as good or maybe even better than like Kevin Owens. Look how like Kevin Owens has like skyrocketed. Kevin Owens has made millions of dollars in the business since then, you know. Eddie Edwards, I mean, might not be.
He's probably made over $1 million with Impact.
Yeah.
But I think he's not making more than $250,000 a year,
exactly,
which is, you know what I mean, is good money. But I think, you know what I mean,
the guy deserves to be a bigger star.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, definitely, yeah.
Jay White versus Chris Saban, which is cool. That's continuing like the little like rivalry they have going on between Bullet Club and the Machine Guns.
Yeah.
And the main event, basically, Good Brothers versus the Briscoe Brothers. I
Man, it's gonna
mean,
be
that's another kind of dream match. Two of my absolute favorite tag teams for sure.
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be good, man. And I think God might show up tonight. Tomorrow night. I'm not sure, but
Oh, I think
yeah.
there's going to be a lot of like run-ins during that show for sure.
There's going to be a few run-ins. There's going to be a few guys that you didn't expect that are going to show up. Impact haven't really been signing guys recently, except the guys from Ring of Honor that have been making
Yeah.
appearances. I see a few guys might be showing up. It's definitely worth your buck. Is all I've got to say. And we didn't mention the fact that all of these people that are wrestling tonight are all representing companies, and that's
Yeah,
what the
exactly.
multiverse is. Like they're going to be announced as representing the company as they come out.
Yeah.
Eddie Edwards also explains why he's representing Pro Wrestling Noah and not Impact. If you go watch that promo, he goes through why he's giving his allegiance to Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah, exactly. He's not because he's not like he's not a pro Impact guy at this point.
Exactly. So it's pretty good. It's worth watching. Impact tonight is worth watching. It's the build up for tomorrow. So
I'm drawing a complete blank. What was okay, where's Ohio versus everything versus everyone?
oh man, it's a sad story. They were so fucking awesome.
Yeah,
They
that's what
were
I'm wondering.
so
What happened to
awesome.
these guys?
Well, Dave Chris happened to these guys.
Was it the
He
whole
was
Me Too
caught.
thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, that's what happened. I don't know.
And
I remembered them being there, and I think I wasn't paying attention for a few weeks, and
man,
then
they were so deep a part of wrestling, a part of Impact Wrestling. Like they were one of the backbones there, and the
yeah,
people
really, yeah.
loved them. And then all that stuff came out about Dave, and man, they just cut his contract, and he disappeared from wrestling. Basically, they kept Jake for a while. Jake pushed until his contract came up. Then he left amicably the company. He came back recently for an X Division title match against Josh Alexander a couple months ago. Towards the end of the summer last year, he was there. It was really good to see him back. He's pushing his other character. He says he has no problem with Impact. He's willing to come back whenever. He's working the Indies. His career is continuing. And Sammy's got a broken leg. He's still under contract with Impact. He's supposed to come
Yeah,
back
that's what I
before the
just looked
summer.
it up. Yeah, I think he should be coming back soon. I could see him
Yeah,
maybe
he
coming
might
back.
be. Yeah, he might come back to tomorrow night. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see him coming. Yeah, I could see him being the big appearance tomorrow night.
Yeah, because he was always like a big part of their show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's also other craziness going on this weekend. I think at Joey Janela's show tonight, PCO is having some 4 versus 4 hardcore match with 3 mystery tag team partners, which are probably something ridiculous.
It's gonna be crazy.
I think Impact is also having like a Saskatchewan Pro show.
Yes, at midnight.
Midnight tonight?
Midnight tomorrow night.
Or
After
tomorrow
the
night,
multiverse.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
there's all
After the
kinds of stuff
multiverse.
like for the fans. So yeah, fans, check it out on Fight TV. Just like look around. There's so many different shows going on to watch.
Control your narrative. Control your narrative.
Control Your Narrative starting this weekend. Definitely.
Austin Aries is part
that.
of Control Your Narrative now.
I'm not surprised. He fits in right perfectly there, I would say.
Fits in perfectly. I saw this on Twitter, them running into some house show, beating some people up in some house show. EC3, Adam, Adam Scher. That's how you say his name, right? Scher?
Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Strowman's real name. Well, the name he uses now is his real name, basically. Adam Scher, right? It's Scher, CSHER.
Something like that.
Here, yeah. I'm sorry if I'm fucking his name up. I don't want to make him mad, but I don't know how to pronounce it. I haven't heard it enough on TV yet. And yeah, man, that's looking good too. That whole movement is
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
on.
that's definitely something to keep our eye on this weekend for
Yeah,
sure. So
and
yeah, like there's WrestleMania, but if like you're not really down with watching WrestleMania or you're bored of it, there's all kinds of other options going on too.
yeah.
You can even
One
go
last
to
thing.
Saint Martin at that bar for BCW or something in Bahor
I
Noir.
mean, do if you want to and support local wrestling, man.
You should. I
Like
think it's awesome that they're still running this weekend.
it is. Also, if you want to go check a match out tonight on Impact Plus, do go check out the free Mike Bailey versus Shannon Decker.
Yeah,
What a match.
you watched it?
What a match. It was a great
Awesome.
match. It was in Destiny. I think it was Channing Decker's tryout match for Impact. The reception he gets shows me that he needs a contract, this young guy. He's such a good wrestler.
He really
And
is.
Tariq runs out during the match. Tariq makes a return to Canada to Destiny. Nobody knew where he was recently. Maybe Tariq is somebody who we might see in Impact. I mean, he's got the talent. He told me when I met him at the show a couple years ago, the Jay Lethal show at Bay Mathieu, he was a part of
Yeah,
it. He said that they had been in talks. He says, I've been in talks with a few companies, you know. So maybe this is his
that would
you
be
know,
great. Yeah, he's an awesome wrestler.
he is.
One of Canada's best for sure. I hope Impact comes back and does some tapings back here in Canada. Get some more of our guys back on the TV, and hopefully get
Hey
some more
man,
of our guys
Rebellion's
signed.
coming. I don't know where it is, but yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
need that.
they always show love to Canada a couple times a year for
They
sure.
do. They do. They do. They do. Yeah.
Yep. So that has
Also, another guy
been
that might be showing up, Dan Maff. Hey.
Dan Maff.
Yeah. There was a he got a match.
Dangerous dude, man.
He got a match recently against Matt Cardona for the internet title. That too is a free match that you can watch on Impact Plus. And yeah, we got to see where he's going to show up. He's a hot free agent. He's somebody sitting at home that's being slept on.
Yep,
This guy
definitely.
is intimidating, man. Damn.
I wouldn't mind to see I don't know, say pick a random wrestler instead of like our thumbs up of the week. Pick this week a guy that you want to see show up anywhere. Just a guy that's we haven't seen much anywhere that you want to see show up somewhere.
Chris Hero.
Chris Hero, that's a great call. I would love to see him show up somewhere too. Maybe at Ring of Honor, that would be really cool.
Definitely. I'd love to see Chris Hero show up. Yeah.
I'd
That's
like
Chris
to
Hero.
Chris Hero, yeah, I like that. I'd like to see. I just had one in mind, and then when I asked you, I
And when I
totally
said
got
Chris Hero,
distracted.
your brain was mind fucked
I
by
was like,
Chris
oh
Hero. You
shit,
were like,
Chris Hero.
Chris Hero.
I was gonna say like a lame one. Fuck. Who was I gonna say? It's ridiculous.
David Starr.
Austin Aries.
It would be
We
cool to
already
see
know
Austin.
he's gonna be at the other
Yeah,
show.
we already know he's part of the narrative. So,
Yeah.
but
So yeah,
I'll always be
I
a fan of him.
mean, I guess everyone I want to see booked is booked. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah, okay. Jeff Jarrett, man. Maybe Jeff Jarrett will show back up somewhere. I wouldn't mind
with a
seeing that.
piece of paper, like I would do this. I would have Jeff Jarrett show up after the first match, right at the beginning of Impact, as the cameras are starting to roll. Have him get in the ring with a piece of paper and a lawyer with a microphone screaming, "Shut this production down. I still own this damn company. Shut this production down," and pitch a fit. Pitch a Jarrett fit.
And
He can
then
pitch a
going and
fit.
start a new that would be a great angle. I think
Yes,
that would get people's attention for sure.
it definitely would. It would definitely would. I mean, have him do that. Have old Jeff come out screaming, claiming that he still owns the rights to Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really
And then
cool.
have this lawyer say that Mr. Jarrett was under the influence and he was intoxicated at the time that he was negotiating with Anthem You know what I mean? For Global Force Wrestling, and like make the what they had happen in court, like make it out on TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Now that he now that he's sober and that he can do stuff, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
No, yeah, because he has turned it around. That's why I'm like, I
yeah,
was kind of
exactly.
serious about like Jeff Jarrett. It would be cool to see him
It
do
would be
something.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that has been our WrestleMania weekend preview. I hope everyone has a great time. And it's only once a year. So even if WrestleMania is boring, at least chill with people that you don't mind chilling with and eat some good food and have
And
fun.
watch them wrestle.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, so we'll be back next week, ladies and gentlemen.
With results.
Yeah, that's it. We'll go over all the results and we'll go over our reactions and any other news between then and now. I'm sure there'll be a ton. So that's it. For Magnificent Dre Breeze, I'm the Prez, and we'll see you next week.